Hello everyone, welcome back to Learn with Maktoum. So today we are going to discuss about list. Okay, so without wasting time, let's right jump into it. List, it is also used to store any data. Okay, like arrays, we used arrays and array list. List is also similar to the array list. Okay, list can be used to create collection of any type. It may be integers, strings, or even complex types, means you can store the objects also. And those elements can be accessed using the index. As in case of array also we access the element using index. In list also we will be accessing the elements using index. List class also provides methods to search, sort, and manipulate the list. So as you already seen in array list, we did searching, sorting, yes. So the same way in the list class also we have searching methods, sorting methods, and manipulation methods. Okay. So here I have created a class student. Inside that I have two auto implemented properties. One is ID and a name. And in the main method I have initialized some objects. Okay. Some Here S1 will be storing the ID 1 and name as Maktoum. S2 will be storing ID 2 and Akbar. Then S3 will be S3 object will have ID 3 and name as Hanif. Then S4 object will have ID as okay, sorry, ID I will change here, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, so these are some of the objects which I have instantiated. Okay, now what I will do is I'm going to create a list. So when I say this list, here within this you have to mention the type of the element, which type of element you want to store. You can store the integers, yeah, you can store integers, int, yeah, you can store integers, or you can also store strings. Here I want to store these data, these object value I want to store. For that you have to create the class type. Okay, the class type also you can store. So create L1 equals to new list of student. Okay, here you can mention the size. Here inside that size you can mention whatever size you can mention, it can be increased dynamically. Okay, clear with that. If I'm mentioning 2, I can store more than 2 also, no problem in that. But in case of array, when I mention 2 means I can store only maximum 0 1 only. But in case of list we can increase that dynamically, but in case of array we cannot do that. Yes, so here you can see, now I'm going to add those objects here. L1 dot, sorry, L1 dot add. Here you can see it is showing you have to add a student type, means S1. Then L1 dot add S2. Okay, in case of array we can add only 2 when I'm mentioning the size as 2 here, but in case of list I can add more than that also, because the list size will increase dynamically. Okay, so now I have added 4 objects to the list. So let us see whether it is showing any error or not. Here you can see there is no error because it increases dynamically. Clear that. Now I want to print those elements. You can do this with the help of for each loop or for loop. Okay, first I'm going to show you with for each loop. So those list will be stored in the type called a student. So you have to say student, sorry, student C in list name is what, L1. Okay, student C in L1. You can say console dot write line. Okay, you can say id is, you can do with this method using the index, you can print the values, or else I told you Before the double quotes you write dollar, so you can write directly here as c dot id. Yes, and name is, you can say c dot name semicolon. Clear with this? I hope you understood. So this one will iterate through all the list elements. Okay, now I'm going to do start without debugging. You can see it has printed all from 1 2 3 4, but in case of array, if you execute, it will give an error of index out of range exception. But in case of list, the size increases dynamically. Clear with that? See, now I want to insert this fifth object at the position 0. How can we do that? You can do that using a method called as insert. Okay, you have to specify the index at which you want to add that item. So I want to add that to 0th position, and the item is s5. Yes. Okay, let's see. I have written already this thing for each loop. It means it will also print that one also. Now at the 0th position, it should display this data. ID equals to 5 and name should be Shahid. Let us see. Okay, you can see here at 0th position it has displayed ID is 5, name is Shahid. Yes, then at the first index it starts this one, ID is 1 and Maktum, then 2 Akbar, 3 Hanif, 4 Rahul. Clear with this? Okay, this is one method, that is insert. You can also do this iterating using for loop also, but for loop is not convenient to go through the list. Okay, that's why you use for each loop. I will show you why it is not convenient. You can say for int I is equals to 0, index starts from 0 and it should be less than what? It should be less than the list element. So for that, to know the number of elements present in the list, there is a method called as count. This one will return the number of elements present in the list. Then you say I plus plus. Okay, now we have to declare a type of student. C is equals to, student C is equals to, you can say L1 of I. Yes, L1 of I means L1 of 0, that will be stored in C. Then that C dot ID and C dot name we can access. We can say console dot write line, console dot write line ID is C dot ID and name is C dot name. Okay, now I'm going to execute it. The output will be same. Output will be same now. Yeah, output will be same. But by mistake, if you say here equals, less than or equals, then you will get an error. Can see here unhandled exception will be occurring by mistake if you say equals. So that's why you should use for each loop. Clear with that? Okay, I hope I'm clear with the insert method. And now say you want to find the element or the find the index of the element. For that there is a method called as index of. Here you can pass the item which you want to find the index. Say I want to find the index of s2. Okay, that you want to print on the screen, so you say console dot write line, save it and run it. You can see the s2 index is what? 2. Clear that, because at s5 is there at index 0, s1 is at 1, s2 is at 2. Clear with that? So this is about list working. I hope I'm clear with this. I will show you one more list. How can you add integers or strings? I will show you the integers. You can do the same way for strings also. So you can say int numbers equals to new list. If you don't want to declare the space, you can say like this. Okay, no problem with that. If you don't want to initialize the size for it, you can say a curly braces. You can give a curly braces, it will be okay. Now I want to add the integers to the list. Numbers dot add, say 1000. Numbers dot add 2000. Say numbers dot add 1500. Okay, now I want to display them. You can use for each loop. For each, here you can say the type is integer. For int number in numbers, you can display those numbers. Console dot write line, can say number. Okay, you want to sort them, you can say, if you want them to be sorted, you can use a sort method here. You can say numbers dot sort. Yeah, let us run it. Let us see what the output we are going to get. You can see here, while initializing, I initialized 1000, 2000, then 1500. Because I have used sort method, the list is sorted now. 1000, 1500 and 2000. Clear with this? Okay, so this is all about list. This is how you can initialize the integers in a list. Okay, and I have shown you how can you add the objects to the list also. I hope I'm clear with this. So this is all about list. In the next video we are going to discuss about stack and queue. I hope you like this video, and if you're new to my channel, don't forget to click on the subscribe button, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.